Welcome, Shadow Seekers, to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today, we're unearthing a tale that'll haunt your thoughts long after it ends. Whether you're glued to the screen or just listening in, you're in for a wild ride through history's darkest corners. If you're new, hit subscribe to join our mission of exposing America's hidden truths. Regulars, your likes fuel our journey into the unknown. Now, let's peel back the layers of time and reveal the secrets beneath. Ready? Let's begin. America's Most Hated Woman, the brutal murder of Madalyn Murray O'Hair. Hello, friends, and welcome to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today, we're unraveling the dark and twisted story behind the disappearance and murder of Madalyn Murray O'Hair, a woman once dubbed the most hated woman in America. On August 27, 1995, O'Hair vanished along with her son and granddaughter, setting in motion a mystery that would take years to solve and reveal a tale of activism, controversy, and cold-blooded murder. How does a firebrand activist who changed the face of American public education become the victim of a brutal crime? What dark secrets lay hidden behind her public persona? And how did a con man's greed lead to the downfall of an entire family? Before we plunge into this complex narrative of beliefs, betrayal, and cold-blooded murder, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you who support our work. Your engagement allows us to shed light on these pivotal moments that have shaped our nation in ways both seen and unseen. Now, let's set the stage by exploring the controversial life of Madalyn Murray O'Hair, a legacy of controversy. Born in 1919, Madalyn Murray O'Hair wasn't just any activist, she was a force of nature. In 1960, O'Hair filed a lawsuit that led to the landmark Supreme Court case Murray v. Curlett. This case, combined with Abington School District v. Schempp, resulted in a 1963 decision that banned mandatory Bible readings in public schools. This victory catapulted O'Hair to national prominence as the face of atheism in America. O'Hair's brash style and venomous remarks about religion quickly made her a polarizing figure. She founded American Atheists, an organization dedicated to the separation of church and state, and used her platform to relentlessly criticize organized religion. Her confrontational approach earned her many enemies, particularly among religious conservatives, and led Life magazine to dub her the most hated woman in America, a title she seemed to wear with pride. The Disappearance. On August 27, 1995, staff members of American Atheists arrived at their Austin, Texas office to find it empty. A typewritten note taped to the door stated that Madalyn, her son John Garth Murray, and her granddaughter Robin Murray O'Hair had been called away on an emergency. Initially, few were concerned. The O'Hairs were known for their impulsive behavior, and Madalyn had received death threats before. But as days turned to weeks and weeks to months, suspicions grew. Large sums of money, nearly $600,000, had been withdrawn from American Atheists' accounts. The family's personal belongings remained untouched in their home. Something was terribly wrong. Theories abounded. Some believed they had fled the country with embezzled funds. Others speculated they had been victims of foul play, possibly at the hands of religious extremists. The mystery deepened when John Garth Murray's voice was heard in a phone call on September 29, 1995, desperately ordering $500,000 worth of gold coins from a San Antonio jeweler. The investigation. As investigators dug deeper, a sinister figure emerged, David Roland Waters. A convicted felon with a history of violence, Waters had worked for American Atheists and had previously pled guilty to stealing $54,000 from the organization. He knew the O'Hairs and their habits intimately. Waters harbored deep resentment against O'Hair. After being caught embezzling, he had been publicly humiliated when she published a scathing article about him in the American Atheists newsletter, revealing his criminal past. This public shaming had enraged Waters, setting in motion a plan for revenge that would ultimately lead to O'Hair's death. The breakthrough in the case came years later when one of Waters' accomplices, Danny Fry, disappeared shortly after the O'Hairs. In 1999, Fry's decapitated body was found in a river near Dallas. This grisly discovery finally gave investigators the leverage they needed. The truth revealed. Under intense pressure, Waters eventually confessed to the crime. The truth, when it finally came to light, was as brutal as it was shocking. Waters, along with Fry and another accomplice named Gary Carr, had kidnapped the O'Hair family and forced them to withdraw funds. They held the family captive in a San Antonio hotel room for nearly a month while attempting to extort more money. When their demands weren't met, Waters and his accomplices murdered the O'Hairs, dismembered their bodies, and buried them on a Texas ranch. To cover their tracks, Waters then murdered Fry, disposing of his body separately. In January 2001, Waters led authorities to a shallow grave in Camp Wood, Texas, where the remains of the O'Hair family were finally recovered. A gruesome end for a family that had lived in the spotlight for decades. The aftermath and legacy. The disappearance and murder of Madalyn Murray O'Hair sent shockwaves through both religious and secular communities. Here was a woman who had stood against the might of societal norms, who had received countless death threats, only to be undone by simple greed. Waters was already serving time for his role in the extortion scheme when he confessed to the murders. He received an additional 20-year sentence but died of lung cancer in prison in 2003. Gary Carr was convicted of conspiracy and extortion charges related to the case and sentenced to life in prison. O'Hair's legacy is complex. To some, she was a crusader for the separation of church and state, a principle foundational to American democracy. To others, she was a demagogue who sought to undermine the nation's moral fabric. Her murder, ironically, united these factions in shock and condemnation. The case raised uncomfortable questions about the nature of belief and non-belief in America. How does a society balance respect for religion with the rights of the non-religious? What drives people to such extreme positions on matters of faith? And how do these ideological battles sometimes lead to very real, very tragic consequences? Reflection and impact. As we reflect on the life and death of Madalyn Murray O'Hair, we're confronted with the complexities of American identity. Her story is a stark reminder of the passion that religious debates can ignite in our nation, and the unforeseen dangers that can arise when ideology clashes with human greed. The O'Hair case also highlighted the vulnerabilities that even high-profile individuals can face and underscored the potential dangers associated with public activism. It serves as a sobering reminder of the potential costs of challenging the status quo and the dark side of human nature. Despite the controversial nature of her life's work, O'Hair's impact on American society is undeniable. She was instrumental in reinforcing the principle of separation of church and state, ensuring that public institutions remain secular spaces. Her activism paved the way for increased religious diversity and freedom of belief or non-belief in the United States. This is American Shadows, where we peer into the darker corners of our nation's past and present. Until next time, remember that history isn't just a collection of dates and names. It's a living force that shapes our world in ways both seen and unseen. The echoes of Madalyn Murray O'Hair's life and death continue to resonate today, reminding us of the ongoing struggle to define the role of religion in American public life. Stay curious, stay engaged, and keep watching American Shadows. For in understanding our past, we gain insights that can help us navigate the complex landscape of our present and future. What are your thoughts on the legacy of Madalyn Murray O'Hair? How do you think her disappearance and murder impacted the debate over religion in America? Share your perspectives in the comments below. Your insights add invaluable depth to these discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most perplexing and consequential crimes in recent American history. Until next time, remember that sometimes the most profound truths lie hidden in the shadows of our most contentious debates.